Moving over to the next matchup here, which takes place in the middleweight division. We got Michal Oleksiejczuk coming in at minus 350, going up against marc-andre Barriault, who comes in at plus 285. Now, starting off on the Michal Oleksiejczuk side of things, he's on a 2-fight winning streak now, knocking out Cedric Dumas and Gerald Meerschaert both in the first round. That halted a 3-fight losing streak for Oleksiejczuk. And, those losses coming to Michel Pereira, Kevin Holland, where he had a big brain fart there after dropping Holland, going into the guard, and then getting submitted. And then just didn't have the power to match Shara Magomedov and ended up losing a decision that night. After that, he joined up with the Fighting Nerds and really honed in on being a little bit more tactical and methodical with his approach rather than just trying to headhunt and try to knock these guys out. That obviously played well into those Dumas and Meerschaert fights, which kept those guys that would probably going to look to grapple against Oleksiejczuk, and then kept Oleksiejczuk at distance, landed his big shots, and eventually found those finishes. It seems like he's kind of parted ways from the Fighting Nerds now. It seems him and his brother Cezary, another UFC fighter, have set up shop in Poland and started their own gym. Obviously, very smart thing to do when you got brothers who are fighting at a high level, coming through with big wins as well. It's easy to get a big following, especially in a smaller country like Poland, and it seems like that's what the Oleksiejczuk brothers are trying to do. I've always been a fan of Oleksiejczuk because of his entertaining style. He loves to utilize body work. He loves to just set up those big shots to the head. His defensive grappling is still obviously a work in progress, but improving his footwork and his distance management has helped him become a little bit better of a defensive grappler because opponents are finding it harder to get in on the hips of Oleksiejczuk because of the angles that he's cutting, the power in which he's throwing in return, and that obviously helps him be a little bit more dominant with his striking style. I think a lot of people are high on Oleksiejczuk because of those two big knockouts. But again, when you think about Dumas and Meerschaert, not great strikers, questionable durability to begin with, those should have been winnable fights for Oleksiejczuk. He's going up against a slumping Marc-andre Barriault, who is now 1-4 in his last 5 fights. He's been finished in 2 of those spots, one by Joe Pyfer, who obviously big power edge there. He was able to land on Barriault and put him out. The surprising one was Dustin Stoltzfus, who was able to land that big shot on Barriault and put him away. But luckily, Barriault was able to save himself and get a nasty finish over Bruno Silva, just landing elbow after elbow to get that TKO finish in his hometown of Montreal. Then he took on Shara Magomedov, where we saw him eat some big shots from Magomedov, but still continue to chug forward. The issue is he just struggled with the Muay Thai of Magomedov, where Barriault, I was going to say Bagomedov, where Barriault often does his best work is in the clinch. He really roughs and riles dudes up in the clinch, pushes them against the cage, drives his forehead into their chin and their upper chest, using it as a post, and then from there just does some good body work, mixes in his elbows over top, really wears guys down there and often pulls away in deep water. His cardio is obviously very high level as well for a middleweight, and that's often where we see him do his best work in deep water. But his durability has just been such a big red flag in recent fights that it kind of makes him a little bit more of a liability no matter who he's going up against. I know a lot of people that probably lost a lot of money trying to bet on Magomedov by knockout, and that just brings the wild card nature of mixed martial arts into question. Magomedov, on paper, should have knocked out a guy like Barriault, right? If Barriault is getting finished by Dustin Stoltzfus of all people, you would expect Magomedov to have the amount of power similar to Stoltzfus, even more, to try to finish Barriault. But, that's why you have to take odds into consideration for a lot of matchups. Specifically for this one here against Oleksiejczuk. Conventional wisdom will make you believe that Oleksiejczuk probably walks Barriault down and finishes him with big shots. But if Barriault's chin holds up and Barriault is able to get into the style that has made him effective in the past, roughing Oleksiejczuk up in the clinch, he could have some success in this fight and really wear Oleksiejczuk down. Whether that converts to him landing takedowns or even just staying in the clinch and landing his big shots there, it could work out pretty well for him. The issue that Barriault had in the Magomedov fight with trying to have success in the clinch, which is where he's most successful, is the Muay Thai background of Magomedov. Magomedov thrives in the Muay Thai clinch, right? You want to put him in the clinch? Great. He's going to hit you with knees. He's going to hit you with elbows. He's going to deter you from trying to hold on to him. And that's what we saw in the Barriault fight. But Oleksiejczuk is not a Muay Thai specialist. Oleksiejczuk is more of a boxer, if anything, right? Again, heavy-footed, plods forward, cuts off the cage well, a little bit better, like I said, with his distance management and footwork now after working with the Fighting Nerds. But there's still the question mark of how he deals with the guy that's going to constantly put him in the clinch and try to wear him down that way. So if Barriault's chin holds up, he can have success. And I know what you're thinking. The way that I'm talking here makes you believe that I'm going to side with Barriault. Not entirely. I think Oleksiejczuk eventually finds the chin and puts Barriault away. Right? We saw Oleksiejczuk minus 280 just a few days ago, all the way up at minus 350. Seems like that's what everybody's going to be leaning on here. But if Barriault's chin holds up like it did against Magomedov, I think he has more tools to make this a little bit more difficult for Oleksiejczuk to get off on his game. And I think Barriault could have a bit of a strength advantage here too, maybe even a cardio advantage. So the prediction is going to be Oleksiejczuk by knockout. I think he eventually lands that big shot and puts Barriault away. But in terms of odds, minus 350 is just far too wide to be confident enough on that type of outcome. I think plus 285 on Barriault is worth a little bit of a sprinkle here. He could make it tough. He could make it grindy. He could make it grueling. And I think that's where Oleksiejczuk might find himself into some trouble. If Oleksiejczuk has developed a Muay Thai game to be comfortable in the clinch and getting pushed up against the cage, all credit to him. But from everything I've seen thus far, that's where Barriault can make him uncomfortable and really wear Oleksiejczuk down, maybe even wear on the power of Oleksiejczuk, so it's harder for Oleksiejczuk to land those power shots in the second and third rounds and be a little bit more favorable for Barriault. So if you want to maybe take a live betting approach here, maybe looking into Barriault in rounds 2 and 3 might not be a bad spot. But I think that power from Oleksiejczuk could reign supreme early and lead to that early knockout. But please consider Barriault as a live underdog.